Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, what's up? Do not forget to hit the like and subscribe button, and do not forget to hit the notification bell so you can be notified when I post videos every week. So as you know from the title of today's video, polishing, how to polish nails. Very simple topic, but it can be an issue. Polishing can be tricky for a lot of techs, especially starting out. And if you're watching this video and you're somebody that just paints your own nails often at home, you might have some trouble with that as well. Either you're getting too close to the cuticle, or you're too far away from the cuticle, or it's an uncured layer. And using gel polish, most people tend to get air pockets or uncured areas. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to achieve a perfectly polished nail and how to avoid some of the common mistakes that a lot of techs and people make when using polish right now. So the first common mistake that a lot of people make in a lot of things, and when it comes to just enhancements in general, it always comes down to your prepping. How are you prepping the nail? Are you prepping it properly? So the first mistake is not prepping the nail properly. When using polish, whether it's gel or regular polish, it's very important to make sure that the nail is properly prepped. This means making sure that all the moisture has been removed from the nails before beginning anything. When working with gel polish especially, we want to make sure that we are doing a dry manicure. Remember that water puts moisture into the nail plate and it's going to expand it. So we want to avoid this when using gel polish. Another thing is, we do not apply any cuticle oil, creams, lotions, scrubs, paraffin, any of that when working with gel polish until after you polish. So the rule is, if you're doing regular manicures, you do all of that before polish, and you do a regular wet manicure. When you're working with gel polish, you do a dry manicure, and anything that can have moisture in it, it's gonna go after you polish. And this is a crucial step when painting that a lot of techs starting out forget. They apply all these things beforehand, and then eventually that's what's gonna work against you and make your polish either not polish on correctly, not last, or not cure properly. Another thing is, we want to make sure we are wiping the nail thoroughly. When I say thoroughly, aggressively, maybe I should have said it that word, aggressively wiping the nail to get rid of any type of moisture on the nail plate. So to do this, you want to make sure that you're using some type of scrub fresh or swipe or alcohol. You can even use pure acetone, but we want to just use that with a lint-free wipe. If you do not have a lint-free wipe, you can use regular paper towel, a napkin, whatever. No cotton. Cotton is going to leave traces of little hairs on the nail, and you will notice that the minute that you start applying polish. So you want to make sure that we're using a lint-free wipe and something that's going to just suck out all that moisture. Because again, if I did a dry manicure and I didn't apply any cuticle oil, I didn't do anything, I still might be using some type of cuticle softener, cuticle remover, and that is gonna go into the eponychium. And so we wanna make sure that when we're wiping the nail, we are thoroughly wiping it, doing circles and pushing back. We wanna push back the eponychium, making sure that anything that ran underneath that nail is going to be removed as well. Another thing is, we want to make sure we are using a dehydrator. So after doing all of that, using a dehydrator is just going to ensure that that nail plate is cleared from any and all moisture. So I know it's happened to you that you've polished someone's nails, and when it came out of the machine, it had wrinkles or a bubble in it, or when you went to wipe it, you noticed that the polish came right off and it wasn't dry. It appeared dry, but it wasn't dry. This is because it wasn't, and was most likely because you polished the nail polish too thick. Most techs are heavy-handed when it comes to polishing. I know I am. I still am very heavy-handed when it comes to polish. They hold too much on the brush, and when it comes onto the nail, it just automatically makes it too thick. So this is a problem, especially for gel. Again, gel hates two things: thick coats and moisture. they don't like it, it will never work out for you. And you'll especially notice this when you do darker colors because they're more pigmented. So when you do black, red, and sometimes white, even though white is a lighter color, I find that white can be very tricky when polishing, especially because you want it nice and crisp and you don't want any like funny little areas that can especially happen. You'll get air pockets, wrinkles, bubbles, and under curing when it comes to these colors. So in order to avoid this, what you want to do is when taking the brush out, you want to first slowly just wring the neck of the polish. This is going to make sure that the polish, everything comes down that was possibly into the cap. If you rolled the bottle before or shook it in your hand, some of it went up into the cap. So the last thing you want is to place the brush onto the nail and what was in the cap runs down, and that totally ruins your whole groove. So what we want to do is just immediately pull it out, wring the neck out, and lift it. Then you want to hold it there for just a second. This is going to allow any type of air bubbles from you shaking, it sitting, anything to just run out, because that first pull up is going to have some air bubbles in it. So you want to just hold it there, let the air bubbles drip down, give it a second. So then you want to place your brush into the center of the nail, and you want to push up into the cuticle area. Do not try to land perfectly on the cuticle area. To get a crisp line around the cuticle area, you have to push up into it. So we're gonna then place our left side of the brush on the left side and swipe down, and place the right corner on the other side and swipe down. This is called the 3-stroke method. And if you have any residue in the middle from your strokes, you just wanna wipe that away. Very thin, gel like thin. So it's better to have 3 thin coats than 2 thicker coats. Once you finish your first layer, then you're gonna go in with your second coat. And here's a little trick. The second coat doesn't go all the way to the cuticle. Trust me. You have to remember that we placed our brush and we made sure we took our time with our first coat. We made sure that cuticle line was nice and crisp. So what we're gonna do is place our brush right where we started. So again, we're not gonna push up, we're gonna place it where we originally started and then continue those 3-stroke methods. This is why we want to make sure that first coat is done perfectly. Your first coat of polish should take you the longest. That's the perfection coat. The second is to just make sure that the color is actually coming out. It's not too thin, it's not too thick. That's the second coat. We're not gonna aim for cuticle detail and crispness into the second coat. And this is just a little trick for some beginners. Once you get better, you can actually use that second coat and then push up into the cuticle for the second coat and come down. But for now, until you perfect that, try it that way, and then you work your way into making it crisp for both lines. But trust me, you will not see it once you put top coat on. So after completing the second coat, now it's time to do the last coat with some top coat. And with this top coat, we want to seal the edge. So we're gonna do the same 3-stroke method, but the last stroke is gonna be your 4th stroke. That's gonna be to cap your free edge. A lot of people don't like to cap the free edge, but this is how we prevent polish from chipping and how we get it to last. You can still have a crisp shape on your nails, manicure, enhancements, or anything, but you have to cap your edges a little bit so that your polish will last. And the last biggest mistake that a lot of people, I'll say people, techs, whether you're doing your nails yourself, is under curing your gel polish. So here's some tips. When you're placing your hand into the machine, it's always important that you watch your client's hand placement. Make sure all the fingers are all the way in and placed upright. This is why I love a machine that has finger guides, because it gives them a little sense of where their fingers should land once it goes into the machine. And it's just a nice little addition and benefit that you want to look into if you don't have that for a UV LED machine. So a big issue that a lot of people complain about is the thumb. The thumb is always going to give a little bit of issue. The reason is when your hand is into the machine, this side of your thumb is not really getting any light. So I have a little trick for you. The trick is to take the hand and turn it upside down and position the fingers like the number 4 and then put it inside the machine for an additional 30 to 60 seconds. This gives that problem area some extra time to make sure that it is fully cured. And trust me, since I've been doing this, I have 0 issues with the thumb under curing. And you also want to make sure that your polish is curing for the correct amount of time. This is why certain features, like when it beeps and it goes in and out, when your client flinches, having a timestamp, all of these things are very important, because if I know that she moved at the 30-second mark, I know she still has 30 more seconds. It's not like, Okay, well, I think that was a minute. So just, put the other hand in. We want to make sure that it is cured properly for the full amount of time. And again, a nice feature that you could have or you won't have on your UV or LED machine. I previously did a video where I talk about all the benefits, all the different features of a UV LED machine. If you want to check that out, I will leave a link above and you can go check that out, of the things that I recommend that you should be looking for when purchasing a UV or LED machine. So if you follow these simple guidelines, you will be guaranteed to get you some perfectly polished and properly cured nails every single time. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Do not forget to share it with a friend that might be able to benefit from the tips. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.